Hello, students. My name is Professor Patti Napolitano. It is Saturday, January 10th. Today is the first day of our semester. For many of you, this is your last semester of graduate school. Professors who teach these courses, they're the last ones before you graduate, particularly if you're an advanced generalist social worker 626, advanced generalist practice with communities and groups, or 617, which we really just call, it's like a single subject evaluation of clinical practice. Any of the final courses, we are designing them to be front loaded for you to know what is expected of you, and we are expecting you to check in about graduation dates, application. We know that you're going to have to buy hoods. There's going to be Phi Kappa Beta MSW memberships. There's a lot of things. So there's no tricks in this. And just like you, we've all been living through America. So if you're taking this course, you're one of the people that today in America put your phone down and thought, what should I do? I should get a graduate degree on top of what I'm already doing. And I should really be thinking about internal and external systems and how do we create a fair and just society with our system that we've got? And what are the ways that we challenge legally or against the current law? And what personal risks do we take and what professional protections do we have? And a lot of these things are in flux. So if you're here, you are the person I want to teach, and I want to thank you for being here. Blackboard Ultra. There's a lot of 70 to 80 hour courses that can definitely help you get started here. I do like to, as an adjunct who's been teaching this course for its entirety, and also this is the last year for this advanced generalist track, and we're moving into different specializations of levels of what we call macro work, which is with policies, organizational administration. Within a master's of social work, there's a lot of management and policy things that make me exactly as qualified as an attorney in the state of Ohio. And my certification outranks attorneys in several situations. So there are a lot of clinical and advanced generalist special privileges, rights, and responsibilities that we have that each individual certified university can break down into whatever they want. But if you have an accredited program, there's all these things at the beginning of the syllabus that will tell you how it's tied into the Council on Social Work Education national standards, that this is a nationally recognized LISW. So if you're in this online state of Ohio right now, we as LISWs have an interstate compact, I believe, to practice in 8 states, 7 states collaterally, and next we will be in all 50 states. Licensed professional counselors often are just behind us, using our policies to advocate for our peers, and sometimes we're just behind them. Now, because we have what's called a terminal licensure, we supervise ourselves. I own Wellness Cleveland. This is my practice. I supervise interns. I supervise early career graduates, and I supervise people in group private practice here in Noble County, doing rural social work, and Cleveland, doing urban social work. And in all of them, we're working with humans with central nervous systems, and we're evaluating the communities that we're in and the neighborhoods that make us unique and the formal and informal power sources. So the purpose of this course, this is my 2025 syllabus. I have to update all the dates to give them to you. So we've got an official one that will be loaded in to your Blackboard course by Monday morning, which is why this isn't open. I wanted to record this introduction video and show you we have the first few weeks loaded in. I don't like to do week by week because I like you to look ahead. It is against the Blackboard Ultra course design. I would like to teach you this semester. So it may not look like your other courses, but we will have all of the courses laid out. There will be no textbook. And you will, let's see if I have our things loaded in here. This is your reading for the week, for week 1. This is loaded in. It should have some library permissions for accessibility. If you are not seeing them in a format you can see, please email me. And I will email you back when I have internet connection and say, I've seen this, let me troubleshoot. Because I cannot provide live tech support because they do pay me $3,000 to do this, which is not quite enough for me to live on between now and September 30th, when they would pay me for teaching a fall course. So I'm in rural areas and I do check my internet and I will get back to you. But any issues you have with access, if you email me, it is time and date stamped that you reached out before it was due. And I really am not a hard ass. I mean, I'm sure my professor says, just read everything. Now, this video I record in YouTube because I've watched generations of lectures. And I also, Patti Napolitano, social worker, all one word, keep my previous courses up there. So if you want to look at how I have taught and explained the different portions of the coursework, the articles, the work I've been involved in. I've been a social worker for 25 years. We have a Professor Patti full playlist of what we've done teaching this. Assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3, there's summative. We have to line up with the social work policies. These are all old ones, okay? You don't have to watch them, but they should really inform you. Now, week to week, you'll see things like this. Paul Sherlock and Patti Talk Chronic Homelessness. That's an interview that's going to be in one of these weeks. So I do, when I teach, like to bring in other people who are doing the work, who are my peers, who are my colleagues, who may be licensed, who may not be licensed, who may be professional, or who may be informal community resources or sources of power. I bring in people with PhDs and they all say, I'm just kind of making it up as I go. And then they share their experience, strength, and hope. And that has been really helpful for my students over the years. So I like to take that portion of the live class and do it. There are many things that happen to funding, and I've never had funding come through. And the people I meet with tell me, yeah, we just kind of decided to do it for free, which I reference. So I just kind of decided to start my own podcast to accompany this course. You got to call it something. And I called it Planting Trees for Future Shade. So last season, which has 20 episodes, is all the people I interviewed while I was putting together the free to be published collection of research articles, and we're going to do the full podcast. All of these interviews. And I try to ask these people how, oh, man, I hope these are all public. They're kind of fun. I was trying to see what would key in on social media. Who is working with me on policy? How do we build bigger tables instead of higher fences? So all of these interviews from last semester, my friend George is going to be helping me schedule some more. I don't know how many more we'll really get this year, but that's how social work goes, and that's how community organizing goes. So we have a syllabus review, which I will go over and over and over, and it'll be a different video. But the big thing I want you to know is what is due next week. So today is week 1, January 10th. What do we have to have done by Friday at 11:59 p.m.? We have a journal due January 17th. Journal 1. So I will have journal 1 uploaded. I'm moving furniture today. This is the only room in my house that's set up. I will upload an updated syllabus and the journal, but we should have within planting trees for future shade all the different assignments. So we're going to link how-to videos and say, I put my week 1. You want to watch my syllabus review video, which is not this. This is my intro, but I'm late on the syllabus and I want you to reassure you guys. The first 3 competencies. This is not your competency assignment. You are going to have a journal inside of Blackboard. I know you guys are about to graduate, so you probably know it, but I'm going to look inside. I don't know. Week 1, understanding the challenge to change. I have a journal, but it's not in Blackboard Ultra. See, it'll look like this. Journal 1, pick 3 competencies. And the description is going to be pretty much under assignments, which is usually section 10 for me at the very back. Week 1 journal. So this is 5% of your total grade, okay? And I want you to just look at the 9 CSWE social work competencies, because all of my life, including when I work places and people know me, they're like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. I say, testifying on the stand, social workers are actually licensed to, and the following competencies. It's not an information-based, it's kind of like a law degree, only more advanced. Because we're able to assess, intervene, use cultural competencies, evaluate diversity, equity, inclusion. You know, the words that we're not allowed to have, they're actually within our competencies. Review the 9 of them, and you're supposed to give a 1-sentence description. These are actually not the 9. Choose 3 competencies that you were like, oh, that one, yeah, this is actually what I'm going to be doing. I only want a few sentences within this journal. This is going to be the directions inside of this journal. You don't have to convince me you're already doing the things. I want you to, this is a journal, just like you would give your patients, to evaluate what your thoughts are on it. Then throughout the semester, the rest of your assignments, you're going to be identifying people in your community. I identified people in my community and I interviewed them. So look at the kinds of people I identified. Someone I worked with before, someone who came highly recommended, someone I know always answers the phone and makes time for people, someone who I know was involved in Nikki Antonio in the, it used to be the task force. I'm not sure what they're called right now. And I just have been interviewing people and being my genuine self and advocating and saying, I'm not trying to make money and I actually don't have anything to sell. I'd like to know what you're thinking. And I attended community meetings for 3 years. And one day in November, the week before Thanksgiving, the publisher of the newspaper's mother, who's the board president or something for the Victorian Museum, and the woman who runs the kitchen for other things, the 2 of them are on my committee, and they came and told me every single meeting that goes on, all the fundraisers, who runs them, who they think might want to work together, locations, where we might have food trucks, how we might drive business downtown, because they know all the kids, all the grandkids. And I will live here 45 more years and not be from Barnesville. We got community buy-in over 3 years. What I thought I was going to be doing was doing something similar to a youth group that was a non-youth group. And I thought I would be teaching kids how to fundraise and engaging them in something that was not like for extra credit. And I didn't know what that would look like, but I wanted to talk to young adult people. And what I found was the 7 rural county region has a lot of overlapping services that are stretched thin, and people who live here already know where the gaps are. And I had to come in and say, hi, I'm not from here. And I was just trying to see how I could be helpful and be okay with people telling me, maybe the depot committee. Ooh, I heard the theater program. And there just wasn't a place for me. So I kept saying, well, here's what I see, and I'd love to be more helpful. And that was it. So that is a clinical practice and an advanced generalist practice of saying, hi, here's a mirror of what I see. I really am invested in this community. Here's the top 10 strengths. Here's the SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What do you see as the SWOT? And I ask people, like Bill Merriman, what have you done in the past? So your mind should change when you talk to people. So that's why we say this is not an assignment that grades your social work performance. I want you to log in and me to have it working and you guys to tell me, here's the access issue, because I want to teach you. I'm sure that I won't be able to save this. I will do it. Okay. I would like to teach you. I've been teaching this course for almost 10 years. I've been teaching a variety of social workers, and what I have learned has helped me to engage, to plan a chicken barbecue 4th of July, because there's no 4th of July chicken barbecue by the fire department anymore. And we're targeting 18 to 21-year-olds who we hope will want to be volunteer firefighters in these 7 counties. And we have a built-in marketing network because people show up for their kids, and we have a built-in engagement also to bridge my personal goal based on the violence reduction measures I've read over 25 years and include here. What has worked in hard places? What has worked has been community driven, born from the community, led from the community, invested and started within the informal sources of power. I don't know what they are. I know what they look like, but I don't know where the respect is. You will learn if you sit and stay. So the purpose of this course is not for you to deliver the result, because I use other students' examples because there's so many, and I really wanted an Ohio example for this Ohio license, that works in 7 states and is about to work in this country. Because what works in the land of Cuyahoga does not work in the other 83 counties of this state for the Ohio Judicial College. And I learned that by sitting and listening and being in committee after committee after committee after committee, working for Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas and the Ohio Supreme Court under a Bureau of Justice Associates grant that was landed during President Obama. And then I worked under President Trump last time. And I had a continuation of services for suicide prevention within community corrections. So I have loads of experience and loads of examples that I love to bring in, and lots of people that, whatever, regardless of your grade, you may continue watching Planting Trees for Future Shade, because it's really hard to find the time. And this is the wealth that I have 25 years into my career as I'm opening my own practice. So I will be hiring therapists and training therapists as I have for the last 15 years. And I will continue doing a lot of pro bono advanced generalist social work during these trying times. So I will not be teaching in the future, but you all are welcome to follow me and continue learning. And we will have, thanks to you and your participation in this course, I will be continuing to create a free open educational resource for anyone in the United States in an accredited Council of Social Work Education program, so that they can use this course to align with the national social work standards as are outlined in this syllabus, so that not only will the great works of social workers like you and me engaging in these social work competencies. We're going to be talking about what happens in America. We're going to be talking about the things that aren't on TikTok because the people I talk to don't have social media. And they don't have social media followings they don't particularly care to. So you can follow me on YouTube for free. I will be recording. I'm supposed to take my hours and hours of lectures and break them down into 5 to 6 minute segments, which shockingly has overwhelmed my capacity for executive function this year. But we're going to have mini lectures like these. So this is your intro. This is your hello. We will have this updated. I want to have it updated by tonight. I don't see any reason why that would not, but either way, we will have an update by 10 p.m. and you will have a journal due this upcoming Friday at 11:59 p.m., which is January 16th. I'm also going to direct your attention to the academic calendar, which is what I love on my CSU. I start this before my syllabus. This is what I open in the order that I open it, is I open the academic calendar tab, and then Blackboard, and then my YouTube lectures, and then I open a syllabus. And then I check on the dates, the midterms, and I want to direct your attention to, if you feel like this semester you are already hanging on by the skin of your teeth, please speak to your advisor, because you're not the only person who has ever had that. I have an undergrad in social work. I have a BSW that took me 5.5 years because my degree was revoked because I had a baby in May. And my summer courses, which I turned in and got A's in, when my degree was pulled by the Council of Social Work Education in their every 3-year audit, they said she took 2 weeks too long on these courses and I had to take them over. I didn't think of that. My social work advisors helped me with the plan. And you never would have known that, right? And no one who has ever seen me testify would ever know that. I have friends who have passed their LSW exam on their 9th try. I have friends who have passed their LISW exam on their 10th try. Think about the semester, and if you need a full refund, you have to make a decision by this Friday. The last day to drop, even without a refund, who wants that, is the 23rd, but that's for a W, not an F. We have a mid-semester grading deadline of March 9th, which means by March 9th, you will know if you are not going to get a C in this class. And that's when we start saying, do we need to take, hey, come on in, an incomplete to help you make a plan of how to still graduate because you've already paid. This is Barnesville, Ohio Citizen of the Year, Nancy Napolitano, for 3 more months.
Yeah, for a couple more months.
So, do I have your consent? This is my syllabus review. So, hello. This is also the director of nursing at the retirement home where I see patients. So, we will be seeing you live, and I'll have another update tonight about your Friday night journal. Thank you, students.